Right, so ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the last panel discussion of the day. So, in this section, our panelists will talk about talents in the denim industry. With the topic Next Gen Talents, our panelists will cover the skills and qualifications that are required to enhance the workforces in this industry to keep up with customer expectations on sustainability and growing innovations. May I now invite the moderator of this panel discussion to come onto the stage. Let's first welcome Ryan Holton, the Program Director of Master of Arts in Fashion and Textiles at the Hong Kong Polytechnic University. Let's give a round of applause to Ryan. And please welcome our panelists to come onto the stage. They are David Tring, Denim Head from the Magic of Denim Consultancy. Let's welcome David. And Michael Lam, Director of Advanced Denim. Let's welcome Michael again. We've got some fans over there. And Dr. Travis Lee, lecturer at Hong Kong Design Institute. And I'll now pass the stage to Ryan. Thanks.
Hello, everyone. Quite loud then. Welcome to the final segment of what has been, I can say, an amazing 2 days here at Denim Futures. It really has. And I think the most glorious thing about this event is that I've really felt this sense of community that I did not know existed before. And so, yeah, it's just been really beautiful to see. So thank you, The Mills. Thank you for you guys for facilitating this and everyone that's partaken in it. So let me just introduce myself. My name's Ryan Holton, and I'm the head of MA Fashion and Textile Design at the Hong Kong Polytechnic University. And I feel really honoured, actually, to be a moderator for this discussion, because we're talking about next-gen talent. And for me, the next generation of talent are my students. And so education is something that is really amplified in terms of its significance and how it can hopefully reshape the future of our industry and hopefully create a more conscious, sustainable and ethical ecosystem. And joining me today, I have David Tring. How are you, David? I have Michael Lam, and hello. I have Travis Lee. But guys, please, if you could just introduce yourself and tell us a bit about who you are, what you do, it'd be great.
So I've introduced myself. I think this is the third time now, so I'll keep it a little bit shorter this time. This is actually my favorite subject right now, and this is why I retired from my career within corporate brands and denim, because I think the next gen talent is how we can have the biggest effect on the future of our industry. So this one's very personal for me, and I think we're just great to have this panel together.
Right. So I'm Michael Lam. So I'm going to say maybe my Chinese name. I would say not many people knows my Chinese name. Yes. Yeah. So maybe I tell you guys later on. So I'm Michael. I'm the director of Advanced Denim. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me today. I'm Travis. I'm from the Hong Kong Design Institute. And besides teachings, I think one of the key reasons that brought me here and then connect with a lot of denim guru, denim people, masters, companies, directors, is because we make successful denim festival in the last few years that we are supported by a lot of friends like Michael, David, and a lot of brands, and also connect me with a lot of industry people. And so that's why I'm here. And making students successful is always something that we think about every day.
Amen.
Yeah. All right, let's start.
So welcome, guys, and thank you. So as you gather, we're not here just to look pretty. We're here to actually discuss what is quite an important question, a hefty question. And that is with a shift in consumer expectations on sustainability and growing innovations that are reshaping the denim industry, what are the skills and qualifications that the next generation of talent needs that can help enhance our workforces? So, David, as a denim expert, what do you see as the challenges and the opportunities facing the workforce, the denim industry workforce here in Hong Kong?
I think there's tremendous amount of opportunity. And first of all, you look at the community here and how engaged they are. And I've been talking with a lot of people over the last couple of days, and they're all interested to connect with you and Travis and the students in Hong Kong. But I think the first thing that we probably forget is the Greater Bay Area employs over 220,000 people in the denim industry. When you look at all the different levels of whether we're going to yarn, spinning, dyeing, weaving, washing, selling, you know, there's so much that can be done. And we have, I think, a job to do to explain all these different opportunities for the students, that it's not just to be the catwalk designer. So there's opportunity there. The work that we do with students, it's become very apparent to me, and we've talked about it a lot, right? They're very visual in the way that they look at the world. When they're designing, they're thinking about the catwalk and how the garment's going to look, and not probably paying enough attention onto the fabric. And again, we're a denim industry, it's fabric-based. So I think there's a great opportunity for us, again, with all the experts that we have, to connect with the schools and the universities and work with the students to help them understand the fabrics to a better level than they do today. That's going to help all of us to do a better job. And then I think on my side, I like to tell stories. I think storytelling is so important. And this is a skill that needs developing. It's something you can learn. It's not something that's innate. And I think we agree, certainly, that there's a need to help the students in how to tell their story and how to present an idea. And we shouldn't wait to teach them that when they get into their first job roles. The biggest challenge is sustainability. It's the thing it's probably the biggest challenge they're going to face in their careers, both in what they do at the office, what they do out of the office, how we shop, how we eat, what we buy, where we go, how we travel. There's such a big challenge there. And I think, I've said it a couple of times on the panels, I don't think Hong Kong's ready for this. I think as a community, we're not ready, and that reflects into the students because they're just a reflection of the community today. So that's probably one of the biggest jobs we've got to do as an industry, supporting the education community in bringing sustainability forward. And they're the guys that are going to bring the next generation of innovations and solutions. So that's a big draw for us.
I mean, I agree. I think the students will go on, hopefully, to be positive disruptors of the system and pave the way to kind of progress and make positive change. Talking about the students, Michael, you've done a lot with universities globally. No, a lot. Let's be real. What motivates you?
I would say when I see the student, like, they grow up and they learn something from the industry, and I would be, really happy, and that is the main motivation for us to keep, helping the students from the university. And also, because I was graduated from Hong Kong Polytechnic University, so that's why I'm really happy to work together with all the universities even though Hong Kong, Europe, China, US, and then if I can see all the students working together across the countries, and they can learn from each other, that is really the happy things for me to keep working with them. And also, I can see some of the students that, we helped them before, and then they just working for the companies. And then and then they just come to say hi, hey Michael, I know you. Thank you so much for supporting the fabric to us. 2 or 3 years ago, my graduation work was using your fabric, and then I was really happy. So that would be my motivation mainly. Just keep supporting the students.
Thank you, Michael. I mean, it's really inspiring, and hopefully, I wish every company could, director could get.
I'm sure everyone could do the same, yeah, or maybe even do better.
You do amazing work.
Not too many Michaels, though, please.
And so, obviously, you've done a lot of work with universities, Michael. Yourself, Travis, you're a lecturer at HKDI. Are there any initiatives that you've launched to better prepare your students for industry and kind of meeting industry expectations?
I think throughout the years that we brought a lot of new ideas to students. In particular, we bring in a lot of, for example, visiting fellows. Now we have a visiting fellows who is David, who is a really cool person that bringing a lot of workshops and then sharings to our students. And we need something from the industry. We need some insider. We need some really master to incubate our students. That's what we do at the moment. But throughout the years, I would like to give a salute to Michael, because Michael gave us a lot of support, like bringing our student to Amsterdam to the Kingpins, and then giving a lot of supports like sponsorships of the fabrics, and bringing our student to visit the factories. I think these sort of enriching our students, the technologies and also skills that is something that we love to arrange, and then we love to cooperate with the industry. And besides, I think it's a little bit different from the old types of teaching and learning nowadays. I think Ryan will very, very much agree with that, because we are not just letting our students to do whatever they want now. Yeah, sometimes we have to give some driving questions to our students, what we call some project-based learning. And usually the driving questions is not just entertaining themselves as a designers. They have to answer the market needs, have to understand what sort of new developments, innovations, what's happening in the market in the manufacturing aspect as well. So our students are trained up like this. Another thing is digitalizations. Yesterday, if you see the sections of digitalization, we got Jorgen. Jorgen is doing some digitalizing fabrics, and that our students start working on with them for some experiment at the moment. Our students are quite eager to incorporate some digital elements in the things. So this is one of the initiatives of our institute. Yeah, internships, as well as Denim festivals. There are lots of things that we hope to provide a more dynamic environment for our students to learn and to explore. Yeah.
I think, kind of to complement what you're saying there, I think as educators, when I look at students, they give themselves to us. They give, when it's undergrad, it's 4 years of their life to study. On the MA, it's a year. And some of them get in a lifetime of debt. And so, for me, I feel there's a duty, really, to kind of give them the best chance possible to hopefully secure a job, their dream job. Give them the insights of, what is really happening in the world. And another thing as well, it's been 5 years since I've worked as a designer. And so a lot has changed in 5 years. So by bringing in people from industry, not only are the students learning, but I am as well. And that helps with my curriculum that I provide the students, to give them something that is very fruitful. You've done a lot of initiatives at HKDI and you know, I really admire everything that's being done there. What's the response from the students been like?
Of course, they love that. They love everything outside classroom, you know, bringing them to the workshops and then to the factories and lots of like, there are many opportunities for them. They love to do that. They love to have that. But one thing I think I have to be very conscious as a teacher is that we have to identify the interests very, very well. Yeah, because in general, it's quite hard for you to motivate some students who love evening wear, but pushing some new like denim techniques or denim craftsmanships to them. But it's not true. I think as a designers, that's the design value. Sometimes if you are able to learn something from denim, for the craftsmanship, the washing techniques, if you could be applied onto the evening wear, that's value, that's new things, right? So what I always keep reminding myself is try to identify their interests, and at the same time, trying to focus to train up their transferable skills. Yeah, what they learn from like some traditional skills or techniques from whatever things like tailorings or denim things could be brought into something that they like. So I would say I'm trying to remind myself to do that and to incubate our students. Yeah.
I think it's interesting because I think these projects, sometimes the collaborations, what they do help is, from my experience, with students, is that they realize something new about themselves. You know, they may be stuck in the mindset that they're a menswear designer and that they only work with denim, or they are a women's wear designer and just knitwear. And, you know, it kind of, with these projects, I do feel help students themselves kind of discover new skills, newfound knowledge, but also kind of themselves, you know. I would say we're talking about learning and we're talking about, you know, students' learning experience, etc. I want to ask you, David and Michael, what are the key things that you guys have learned from working with the students?
Yeah. So I think the first thing is to develop empathy much more. It's something we often forget as leaders and communicators. Youngsters in Hong Kong, these students, what they've gone through in the last 3 or 4 years is nothing anybody else has ever had to deal with at that point in their lives with going into education. They had all the social unrest and right at the center of needing to deal with that emotionally. And then COVID came along and they're having to get all of this early learning done on Zoom, which was a challenge for you guys as well. So I think the first thing is just really getting empathetic again and understanding where they're at so that we can help them. And then also for me, so I was a VP, big corporation, used to presenting to the board or 100 people in my team, and I was the VP, so everybody listened. Presenting to students, they're not going to listen. You've got to find ways, and it's been great because I have to change my skills and I have to think about how I'm presenting an idea. It's not the same. And their attention span's really short today, as we know from all the marketing
yeah,
research.
I think the latest study, I think, is around 6 or 7 seconds.
My presentations are a little bit longer.
All right.
Just like golden fish.
Those poor students.
So changing my presentation techniques, thinking about how I'm talking with them, considering how to make it really engaging and practical so they don't nod off. I think that's been a real learning for me, and it's a process I'm still going through at the moment, but it's quite interesting.
Okay. You say a process that you're still going through, that not a traumatic one, I hope.
No, it's great. I love it. I like presenting, so changing that skill base, it's fun.
I mean, it is challenging. How about you, Michael? What are the key takeaways?
Yeah, so I would say I'm learning like every day from everyone, and if you can see, I'm almost like at the retirement stage, just like David.
Welcome.
Yeah, okay. welcome to the club, right? So, so that's why I think if I when I talk to the students, I can see the energetic coming out from the students. So this is just like how can I say to have the energetic to my thoughts, right? Because I can see all the creative thinkings that they inspire, the things that we're working with, every day. Because if we just do the same thing like every day, it's going to be the same, right, going forward. But when we talk to the students, they may have something which we never think about. So that is really important for us, like keeping our mind just fresh every day, and then learn from everyone. It doesn't mean to be students or anyone from the industry, right? So we just have to learn.
I mean, I think Travis will actually agree. I've always said it's a privilege to be around young people because, these 20-somethings that we're teaching ordinarily don't want to be friends or associated with people who are close to middle age. I want to ask you, and this is a question for all of you, and I guess for me as well. But, there's a lot of brands out there that really want to engage with education, but they don't know how or where to start. What tips or advice can you give for these brands that are interested in, hopefully, how we can encourage them to initiate supporting the next generation of talent?
Talk to Michael.
No, I thought I'm going to put your name, David Tring, and your phone number, and then everyone can start to contact you.
Literally, when I retired and I was working out, I knew I wanted to do this. This was always the plan. And I talked to a lot of people around Hong Kong, and how should I approach, I don't know the lecturers, I don't know anybody at the universities, and they're all very scary. Look at them. And everybody said, talk to Michael. And literally. And we came together and started planning and thinking about that. So, yeah, talk to Michael. It's a really good way. But beyond that, you can talk to me as well. And I've been talking with a lot of the people here. And I think it's something everybody would like to do if they could. Michael is a good example with Advanced Denim. He really supports students all over the world. It is extremely impressive to see. What I'd like to see is the same level of support that the students at St. Martin's and Ravensbourne in London get from the industry, which is huge, coming into HKDI and Hong Kong Poly, because I think together we have a really strong community, and we just need to make those connections and start this working. And I think we'll have more people than we can even handle, and that would be a great challenge to have, right, Ryan?
It definitely would. I mean, how about you, Travis? Because, we're both in education, we're dealing with brands sometimes. Like, what advice or tips have you got?
Besides talking to Michael and David, you can call me or Ryan. I think,
Yes.
You can call me or Ryan. And I think just simply, we don't have to do a lot of planning things. Yeah, just give lectures, give a sharing to our students, and let our students know about something more about what's happening in the industry. What I mentioned, like some driving questions, because without driving questions, they won't have really specific purpose to think, to create, to doing experiment. So that's the easy things that we can organize all the time. And the next thing is, I think in our own mind, even for myself and my colleagues, we still have a understanding or concept. Like we still have okay. I think we have to change or shake off the give and take relationship. Yeah, because in the past we used to we appreciate so much about the generous supports from the industry, from Michael, from David, from Crystal Group. But at the same time, actually, they can also gain some things Yeah, they can
Yes.
also gain some things, and that's quite crucial for the industry to understand that actually they can gain, they can take from us. Say, for example, earlier in this year's, like I connect Levi's, the marketing team, with our students that having a Instagram fan page doing snapshots. And Levi's just, oh, they are cool. And then I just have a seasonal campaign. How about they work for us? There's a paid jobs. And they just release all the things and then let our students do it. And which is successfully reaching the young market, the youth market. So some things, what if some days like students' ideas in the competitions or in the collaborations could also be like commercialized or could be a small lines of the brands. That will be a very encouraging environment for our students and also how our students work for the different companies or brands.
So it's interesting how you say about this exchange, because I think there is this mindset where brands feel like, oh God, give, we have to give. But actually, from my experience on the MA and the collaborations that we've done, brands get a lot. And so for us, we create very professional collaborations where the brand gets a lot of IP. You've got to imagine, you've got anything from 20 to 30 students, let's consider them as designers, that are producing you a wealth of ideas. Another thing is they're all young. So they're young 20-somethings. They're the consumers, the market segment that a lot of brands are trying to target. So what better way to kind of understand them and engage with them by collaborating with them? I think there is this mindset, and I was having a conversation with Beatrice about some things about how even now I think brands treat things as a marketing exercise, and it shouldn't be. There's great value, especially with the IP, but also don't underestimate what a university can provide you. It can help you reconsider and challenge the way you do things. I'll give you an example. We did a collaboration with Camper, 2 consecutive years, Camper in Spain. And the first year, they always asked the students to make a physical prototype. And actually, the prototypes were quite roughly made and quite crude, and they're not shoemakers. And then I suggested, okay, with Web3, the metaverse, NFTs, I'm like, okay, how about this time? We provide you NFTs. So each student is going to do a 3D render of their design. And Camper were blown away. They've never thought of even working this way. They never had a university, and they're collaborating now with IFM in Paris. Like, they collaborate with universities globally 3-4 times a year. We were the first one that suggested that. That gave them something new. In addition, they wanted to understand Chinese social media. How are the young people engaging with Chinese social media? Because, they're a Western company. They want to hit the China market more. And so our students embarked, before they started designing, providing them a wealth of research on social media and how social media is used. So there's great value, really, and I think brands underestimate it. And yes, it's a little bit of extra
I always
work,
talk to my friend, we feels like we know what is hashtagging. We know what is social media, but actually not. How to grow the followers. Where do you get it?
Yeah.
I do hashtagging. Why not? Something happened. That's it. Something that is their language. Yeah. Sometimes we also gain something from them. They know how to do it. We thought we know, but probably not.
Yeah. I think brands, would be very surprised and I think very satisfied if they collaborated more. And as we said, it contributes.
How many projects do you do with brands and companies in a year?
2. So our MA program is 1 year full time. I'd love to do more because for me, I think going from the students, what they experience, they learn professional skills on how to present and engage with, directors of companies. In addition as well, how their interpersonal skills kind of improve, how they actually present the designs of their work. I think that's really important. But one thing that the students really value is actually feedback that they get from industry. They actually value that a lot of the time more than what they do from us, because we're with them, 5 days a week. And I think they get sick of our voices, Travis, right? And so hearing, opinions and actually constructive feedback. So if it's something that the student doesn't want to hear, they seem to kind of accept it better from someone, a professional in the industry, more than they would a professor.
I mean, that's something they're going to get a lot of once they go out into industry as well, right?
Exactly.
So, it's a good starting point.
I mean, I'll be honest, I tell whoever we collaborate, just be very honest and upfront with the students. And if that's bad language, so it be, because that's the real world. So, yeah. And is there anything else that you guys want to
Yeah, I want to say something. Is all the support is not from me. So because you guys keep saying Michael, but it's not from me. It's
Michael,
from Advanced
Michael.
Denim. So I'm sure there's so many people just like me, or so many companies just like Advanced. For example, like Mandy, I'm sure Mandy is going to support if we ask Mandy to support MGF, and also if we ask Jeanette from Crystal, she's going to support as well. Alisa, right? You say so. I would say this is a denim community.
Job done.
Yes. So I mean, this is yes. I mean, it's not just events, right? If we start to ask other companies, are you guys willing to support? I am 100% sure they would do the same. Yeah. So yeah, not just Michael or Advance. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But if you have got a problem, go to Michael.
all the good easy stuff, can come to me. So, guys, I think that's the end of our discussion, and I'm confident that we answered the hefty question, the topic question. I'm just wondering, does anybody have any questions themselves that they'd like to ask? Here we go.
She has many questions.
Sorry, it's me again.
Hello.
Thank you so much for the nice talk and the really relaxed kind of atmosphere. My question is actually based on the education. With my German background and the emphasis on the Greater Bay Area, does it make sense to incorporate an apprenticeship program before people actually go to university, so that the designers also know, from the bottom for 2 years, working in a factory, learning the trade from the bottom to the top, so to say, throughout all the departments?
It's interesting because I had a conversation with a gentleman called James Cunningham. I don't know if he's here. And one of the things he would love to kind of contribute to is getting the students to kind of go and experience the factories and see the process and the production from, concept to final product. And I think David as well, when we were talking about, because we're going to be collaborating with Advanced Denim, and David, thankfully as well, is also going to be contributing on quite a lot of things. He mentioned, unfortunately, because of the difficulties of COVID, this is something you used to do. Can you talk more about it?
Yeah, well, I think it's a really interesting area. It's part of what really interests me, because you look at Amsterdam and there's the jeans school, but there's no factories in Amsterdam, there's no mills producing in Amsterdam, there's no real laundries in Amsterdam, everything's just been built at the school. We don't need to build the school, we can really take people out into Greater Bay Area to all of these facilities that we have and do the education there. I was talking with Cone earlier about the 101 denim that they do and as a training. So I think getting students, we need to get, for many reasons, we need to open up the border and get rid of the masks. Oh, sorry, different topic.
Please get rid
And
of
then we
this.
need to be able to get the students out of Hong Kong and into the different locations, whichever's the best location to help them understand and learn some of these techniques. Because whenever we've done that in the past, whether that's with students or with our own staff that work in Hong Kong and don't always get that opportunity to go out into factories and laundries. You know, we have that opportunity and ability here in Hong Kong. They can't do that in New York. Anybody becoming a merchandiser or a buyer in New York probably gets to visit a factory 2-3 times in the first 7 or 8 years of their career. We can do that right at the foundation of their education. But we need a few things to happen in Hong Kong first, and I'm pretty convinced that's coming up quite quickly. And then we'll really be talking to you about how we can bring the students to you.
Yeah, we used to collaborate quite a lot with a factory, a company called KTC that had production in Guangdong. And the last time we were able to do something like that was pre-COVID, so very early 2019. Late 2019. And it was quite interesting because I think the students not only learn about the new innovations, but also they grow a bit more of an appreciation, you know, in terms of the work that it really is put in place to kind of just produce a garment and all its various stages.
It's the best learning you can have is being in the factory and learning.
Yeah.
I think I can see so many nodding heads in the audience.
And even working with product development teams, I think is another thing that our students then really benefited from. Because
we've talked about internships as well, and the ability to bring students into companies even in Hong Kong already and work with design teams or development teams. And even if it's only for a week, I'd like it to be longer, but even if it's only for a week, they get already a quick understanding of some of the pressures and some of the ways that the office life and the future life for them can be.
So yes, Beatrice, there should be.
And I think that actually leads to another question that was prompted by one of our online audience. He said, how can we get more students to value garment construction and production nuances and costing?
Sorry, say the last bit again.
How can we get more students to value garment construction and production nuances and costing?
Costing.
I think it's really what we've just been talking about getting them out of the schools. The schools are fabulous learning. I'm so impressed by the facilities that are there. But I think getting them out and into the industry, and whether that's internships or whether it's a program at the factories, I think this is the way to get that up and running.
Do we have more questions from our live audience over there?
Oh, I know this person.
Hello, folks. How's it going?
Hello, Alan.
You know, I want to. You know, I have this burning question. You know, like yesterday you had the digital talks, which unfortunately I missed out on that one, and then obviously now we're talking about next gen talent. So you know, for the denim industry, how are you, or how are we connecting the dots, like from raw materials, and then you have digital, you have product development, and there's talk about like, you know what I mean, wastage, you know, like time-consuming, you know, product development, so on and so forth. And then you also have digital, like Travis mentioned Jorgen, you know, and then BNB was talking about, you know, the digital aspects. So how are we actually connecting these dots together? You know what I mean? It's like, I think that's the burning questions. I mean, for myself, really, I mean, it's all about the key takeouts, really, from the 2 days. So, yeah, it's like an open question, really, and it'd be really cool for you guys to, you know, give us your take on this.
So, shall I? You? I mean, we've just recently connecting the dots with a collaboration that we're going to do with Michael. And so, and so, again, our students, they will learn everything about the history of denim, the culture of denim, all the fundamentals about sustainability and the sustainable practices by Crystal Group in particular. So we'll be going to Crystal Group, we'll be going to Lensing, etc. And then they will design, so they'll learn from some of the best denim designers here in Hong Kong about good denim design. And in the end, they're going to be creating an NFT. So they're not going to make a physical product. They're going to design a capsule collection, and they will render one of their outfits from their collection as an NFT. And then I think think some will be selected then to make the physical garment from their NFT. The best one.
I think the education on digital is far more connected than the industry is today. We're still at a very early stage, having enough people that have got that education to be able to work with digital inside the organization. So I think it's starting at the universities, and we're still a generation to go before it gets really deeper into our industry. There's some good stuff happening, there is, but connecting it, you asked about connection, I think we've still got some way to go.
We are very proactively integrating the digital elements in our curriculums. We buy the license of a Code 3D. Students have to learn Code 3D. At the same time, they start, what I mentioned, start digitalizing the material. And we are planning on different collaborations with companies that is about digital fashions, and say, for example, some of the students may also work with some specialized techniques, for example, like genealogists. Some of my previous students working in the genealogy lab to doing something, the digital prints into like the lasers. So I would say this is an earlier stage, but we are very keen to do it. And we are exploring something bigger to be happen in the graduation shows. When the showcase, the formats of the presentations is different, I think we will start driving the impact, and then we will get something new and have a more sustainable development of a program. And of course, at the same time, we also talking about like trying to have some programs or stream is having more specialized training in digital fashions. But it's, we are still developing, but we are seeing a very positive progress in it. Yeah.
Okay, any more questions? If not, that's the end of this section. I mean, we got it all figured out.
Thank you.
To incubate next gen talents, it's all about call Michael, call David, call Travis, and call Ryan. Right? Let's give them a big round of applause. Thank you. Please be seated off stage.